mihi mai ki ngā whare Tāmaki, whare tū tangata, whare kāhui wānanga, Tāmaki, ngā here waka. O reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Kei te mihi ahau, kei te matua nui I te rangi, te popo tahi, te wairua o tātou. I will now do a prayer, a karakia for all of us, for protection, especially for the people we are here for. Marama koutou, ka pai, ka pai. Kia Māori e, kia aroha ki te ātāpua o tēnei rā, te matua nui I te rangi. Whaka aroha mai, kia tātou katoa. Mauria mai, tō awhina, tō manaaki, tō tipu o rangaranga o ngā tipuna. Whakamau ai e o ngā tipuna, kia tina, haumie, huie, he wai.
Ma waira, ma tauri ma te marae mi wahone, tika ma te pono me te aroha e.
Piki mai, kake mai, te tauparapara o Tāmaki whānui. Hoki mai nā tauparapara o ngā iwi katoa, Ngāti Hapu, Palestinians. Tēnā rā koutou katoa.
Kia ora koutou. Firstly, we would like to acknowledge the mana whenua of this place, Ngāti Whātua, whose ancestral land we stand on today. We rise with you in the face of colonialism, here and abroad today and always. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Hiba Murtaja. I am from Gaza, Palestine, which is Gaza, Palestine. All of us are aware we are gathered here today to rally against the genocide currently happening in Gaza and the illegal occupation that has been happening in Palestine for the past 75 years. We rise in the face of our government's shameful silence and complicity to the mass atrocities happening in front of our eyes. Our government has blood on their hands. And I want everybody to put up their hands right now and say, blood, blood, blood on your hands.
Blood, blood, blood on your hands.
We are here to let our government and the world know that Aotearoa stands in solidarity with Palestine. We demand our government to call for a permanent ceasefire and an end to the occupation, the illegal occupation. Let's not forget that as of yesterday, the genocide has continued. The murder of innocent civilians, including women and children, has continued. Who pauses a genocide? You end a genocide, you don't pause it.
Woo!
Free, free!
Palestine!
Free, free!
Palestine!
Thank you.
Tēnā koutou katoa, assalamu alaikum, welcome everybody. My name is Samah, and like many of you, I'm not Palestinian. But we gather here today from all backgrounds, from all faiths, from all ethnicities to recognize simple, universal truths. That mass murder is wrong. That ethnic cleansing is wrong. That murdering babies is wrong. These are not controversial statements, and you don't need to be from Palestine to recognize that. We know that in our thousands and in our millions, we are all Palestinians. In our thousands, in our millions, we are all Palestinians. And we grieve together for the thousands of lives that have been brutally taken. We grieve with those who have lost loved ones. We grieve for the children who have seen horrors that no one on this earth should ever have to witness. And to the beautiful people of Tāmaki, Makaurau, thank you for coming out again. And 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 we will not stop coming out until the bombs stop dropping. We will not stop coming out until Palestine, the occupation and apartheid from the river to the sea is over. Until Palestine is free from the river to the sea. They tried to cancel us over a chant that calls for freedom. They tried to put you off from coming. They tried to minimize your numbers. They tried everything in their power. They want you to give up hope. They want you to give up. But we're not going anywhere. We will never abandon Palestine. We have seen the resolve of her people, and it has lit a fire in our hearts, a fire that they can never extinguish. So chant with me, fam. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
Now for just some quick housekeeping, we're going to begin with a reading of the Quran, followed by the national anthem, and then a minute of silence. Then we'll be joined by a number of incredible speakers. Please give them the respect they deserve and listen in silence. Finally, we'd like to reiterate that this is a peaceful, non-violent kaupapa. Don't give any energy to agitators. Listen to the marshals wearing high-vis vests. And if there's a medical emergency, please reach out to one of them or someone on this stage. And with that, I'll pass it on to Muhammad Sulaiman to offer a reading of the Quran. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Kia ora. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أم حسبتم أن تدخلوا الجنة ولما يأتكم مثل الذين خلوا من قبلكم مستهم البأساء والضراء وزلزلوا حتى يقول الرسول والذين آمنوا معه متى نصر الله ألا إن نصر الله قريب. Do you think you will be admitted into paradise without being tested like those before you? They were afflicted with suffering and adversely and were violently shaken that even the messenger and the believers with him cried out, when will God's victory come? When will God's victory come? Indeed, the victory of God is near. So we ask God, Allah, to imply the victory on the people of Palestine soon, inshallah. Thank you. And free!
Kia ora. Thank you everyone for making it again. I'm going to read out a small brief and that will be followed by a minute of silence. 75 years and now 55 days more of atrocities. After a 7-day ceasefire truce has ended, in less than 24 hours, 200 people been killed already in Gaza. 3,365 Palestinians have been detained. 16,413 Palestinians killed, and the number is still rising. 6,300 or more of them are children. 1.7 million Palestinians have been displaced. No home, no shelter. 7,000 Palestinians, 200 of them are children, have been arrested throughout Palestine, with nearly 34,000 injured. This means that 1 in every 142 Palestinian civilians have been killed in a month and a half. Just in the West Bank, at least 240 Palestinians have been killed, and about 2,850 others injured by Israeli forces. Something else the media doesn't want you to know is that since October the 7th, Lebanon has sacrificed 100 martyrs. This includes resistance fighters, civilians, and journalists. 65,000 settlers evacuated 43 settlements facing the South Lebanon border. Despite all of that, we continue to stand, and they continue to stand with Palestine, and we will not be silenced. All those lives are not just numbers. Every single life matters. Hopes and dreams destroyed. We are now going to have a minute of silence to honor the martyrs, the civilians, the children, the women, the elderly, and all the innocent Palestinian lives.
Thank you, Minas. Our next speaker happens to also be my sister, Nadine Murtaja. She is from Palestinian Youth Aotearoa and has been helping to mobilize the marchers to our rallies by using her strong voice to help with chanting at our events. So get your mobile phones out right now for a snap action.
Assalamu alaikum. So I want you all to open Instagram. You're going to go to Auckland Council's page. So search up Auckland Council. Okay, you're going to go to their latest post and you're going to spam their comment section. Free Palestine and ceasefire is our demand. Please like all the posts you see about that as well. Okay, after you're done with that, you're going to go to Palestinian Youth Aotearoa's page. You're gonna go to their bio, click the link PYA, and I need you to sign 2 petitions. The first petition is to demand the New Zealand government a special category visa to our families in Gaza. The next petition you are going to sign is to ask for a ceasefire. Call the New Zealand government to demand an immediate ceasefire. Because what do we want? When do we want it? I can't hear you. Louder. What do we want? When do we want it? Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Thank you.
Thank you, Nadine. This is honestly the one time in the week, whether I'm at a rally or I'm watching, that I feel sane, that I feel like I'm around people who are watching the same reality as me. So again, I just want to offer my thanks, because I know that the people of Palestine see us. I know that they feel our solidarity, but also for us here, for Palestinians who are here and those of us who see the horrors that we're seeing every day. It is so important that we come together and that we share in the pain together and that we express our anger and suffering. So again, thank you so much for coming here, and thank you to all of our speakers. And on that note, I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Zaran Southern, a pro-Palestine Jewish Maori painter who has been coming to all the rallies and taking beautiful photographs of protesters. Thank you for joining us today. Put your hands together for Zaran, everyone. Thank you.
Kau ki matanuku, kau ki matarangi, kau ki tēnei whenua, hei whenua maua e kai tamana o tau hotu ana ngā toroi ki te tihio. Tongariro e tipua, he otua, he tipua, he otua. Mihi atu ki a koutou katoa. Ki te mana whenua nei, o Ngāti Whātua, te kaikarakia, mo te whakatapu o tēnei rā, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. E ngā kaikōrero o mua, tēnā koutou, tātou katoa e te whānau. I would like to thank Palestinian Youth Aotearoa for providing an opportunity for me to speak today. I stand here as tangata whenua from Ngāti Tūwhare Toa, from Tongariro National Park, Lake Taupō. I'm a member, we are members of one of the oldest Māori Jewish families in Aotearoa. Through my father, Rongamai Nohorangi Southern, through my grandmother, Iriho Esha Southern, through my great-grandfather, Hoani Tātaro Esha. Our Jewish whakapapa goes back 8 generations in Aotearoa. And I say, many of my Māori Jewish whānau stand in solidarity with the Palestinian struggle against genocide and the tyrannical regime of Israeli apartheid. Our Ngāti Tūwharetoa ancestors fought at the great battle, the last battle of the final battle of the New Zealand Wars in 1869. However, the resistance never ended in 1869. It continued to today, well into the 20th century. During the building of the Turangi Township at the south end of Lake Taupo in 1964, the Ministry of Work bulldozers came into our Roheau district of Ngāti Tūwharetoa and destroyed sacred sites, wahi tapu, and the homes of many of our elders and families that occupied that area. My great auntie, as a young wahine Māori, hearing the news of the destruction, ran across fields and stood in between bulldozers and her family home, saving it from destruction. Unfortunately, many of our kaumātua had their family homes destroyed while they still occupied it. Some of them were having breakfast. Many Ngāti Tūwharetoa elderly died within that year. My own great-grandfather died within 6 months. Therefore, I say as a Māori Jew, to the Zionists, you cannot claim or appropriate indigenous culture and claim that your indigeneity to Palestine. You cannot conflate Zionism with Judaism and accuse any criticism of Zionism as being anti-Semitic, because there is a rich history of anti-Zionist Jews from Zionism's inception in the 19th century as a political and nationalist movement. Many European Jews were actively opposed to it. In the early 20th century, the Yishuv, old Jewish community in Palestine that had lived in harmony with their Arab neighbors under Arab rule for centuries, were actively opposed to Zionism. The Ashkenazi rabbi Yosef Sonnenfeld described the Zionists from Europe as being evil ruffians. In 1924, his friend, the young anti-Zionist Jewish leader, Jacob Israel Dehan, a compatriot of Palestinian resistance, so threatened the Zionists, they sent a death squad, the Haganah, to execute him, assassinate him as he exited a train in Jerusalem. The Haganah is the foundation to the IDF. I believe if Albert Einstein were alive today, I have no doubt he would stand in solidarity with Palestinians. During the Nakba in 1948, Albert Einstein wrote an open letter to the New York Times along with the Jewish philosopher Hannah Arendt. Einstein described the Herut Party, which Netanyahu's Likud party are direct heirs and descendants of. He described them as terrorists, criminals, stating they are closely akin in its organization, methods, political philosophy, and social appeal to the Nazi and fascist parties of Europe. Bearing this in mind, in 2003, the Israeli scholar of Hebrew University, Baruch Kimmerling, described Gaza as being the largest concentration camp that has ever been. Therefore, let us never forget the Jewish Deputy Commander Marek Edelman of the 1943 Warsaw Ghetto Uprising against the Nazis. Despite receiving the highest honor in the French Legion of Honor and Poland's highest honor of the 65th commemoration of the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, Israel refused to accept him and honor him. In 2002, Edelman wrote an open letter supporting the Palestinian resistance. He wrote in a spirit of solidarity from a fellow resistance fighter. He saw the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising as not dissimilar in desperation to the Palestinian uprising. He insisted that Zionism was imperialist in both design and application and threatened global security. When asked by a young Polish journalist, what does it mean to be Jewish? Edelman replied, Jews should always be with the oppressed and never the oppressor. We have a whakatauki proverb in Ngāti Tūwhare Toa. Mai makutu ki tongariro, from the mountain to the sea. It is a saying with roots in the 14th century, and today it provides nourishment in our resistance to the crown and settler colonialism. And like from the river to the sea, it is part of an indigenous struggle that is entwined across the globe. We share common values, sense of justice, sense of freedom and humanity in the face of great adversity. We will continue the fight, ka whawhai tonu mātou, forever, and we will never surrender. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Free, free! Free, free! A piti hono tātai, hono te honga mate, ki te honga mate, a piti tātai, hono te honga ora, ki te honga ora. Tēnā koutou tātou katoa.
Up next we have Neil Scott. He's PSNA secretary. He'll just say a few words.
So I'll be very quick. I just want to let you know that today is roughly one of 30 different events that has happened over this week and this weekend around the Motu, from way up north all the way down through to Makaurau. So we're part of an Aotearoa-wide movement. So that's not just PSNA, there's a whole crowd of people. PYA, Justice for Palestine in Wellington, a whole lot of teams are working on this work. So we're all angry about the Israeli genocide in Gaza, and I keep on being asked by people, because I'm the secretary, they email me, what can I do? So I tell them three things, actually it's four. One, sign the petition to throw the Israeli genocide ambassador out of New Zealand. It's on the front page of the PSNA homepage. More than 12,000 Kiwis have signed that, and it keeps on growing every day. Two, email your local MP, the Prime Minister, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and demand Aotearoa calls for an immediate ceasefire. Three, get out of your house. Go visit your local MP. They're yours, right? They represent you. Send them back to Wellington with a message to their leaders, to National, Act, New Zealand First. Demand a ceasefire now in Gaza, and demand an ICC investigation into the genocide there. Three things we can do. Two online. One, just ring them up, make an appointment, and tell them who you are. If you're Palestinian, give them your background. Let them know that you exist. So that's pretty much it. The other thing, though, is there's a banner here, there's a panel here that we are actually asking people to sign that we'll take up to the Auckland council offices and leave there. So if you get a chance, it's on the front here, sign that panel. Cheers.
Thank you so much, Neil. I just want to remind everyone that our voices matter. So signing those petitions, even signing the paper over there, everything matters. Every little thing matters. So never feel like there's no hope or that our voices don't matter. Even coming to these protests, it really does matter. So please keep coming. All right, so next speaker we have Ahmed Dawood. He will give us a reminder about BDS. Please put your hands together.
Kira, salam, shalom, and hello everyone. The reason I'm here today is to talk to you about BDS. BDS is a Palestinian movement that was inspired by the South African model to resist apartheid. Now, since we have similar diseases in our society, we picked similar ways of resisting. BDS stands for Boycott, Divest, and Sanction. And the way BDS works is by targeting a few brands. Now we know that there are so many brands that support apartheid, support Israel, but we choose a few brands because it's easier to get so many people to boycott a few brands. And it's more impactful to get so many people boycott a few brands to pressure them to stop supporting the apartheid. BDS always updates a list of brands to boycott, and these are the brands that we're boycotting at the moment. The first one is the Israeli fruits and vegetables, and this one is being boycotted because so many of those fruits and vegetables are planted on stolen lands. The next one is HP, and the reason we're boycotting HP is because it provides the biometric identification system that allows Israel to discriminate against Palestinians and treat them differently. The next one is AXA, and if you have an insurance with AXA, try and cancel it because AXA deals with Israeli banks and which support settlers it supports settlers to steal Palestinian lands and build homes on Palestinian lands. Shame. The next one is Ahava. Ahava is a cosmetic company that has its main branches built on stolen Palestinian lands in illegal Israeli settlements. Those settlements are recognized by the United Nations as illegal. The next one is Siemens, and Siemens provides electricity and support to electricity and gas to those illegal settlements. The next one is Puma, and Puma it sponsors a lot of teams that represent Israeli settlements, Israeli illegal settlements. And again, if you have any of these brands, and I personally do, it's okay to have them, but it's not okay to continue supporting them, knowing all this. The next one is Sabra. Sabra Hummus and Obela Hummus are involved in financially supporting the Israeli army. Now, by buying this hummus, you're pretty much buying them bullets to kill children, to kill innocent people, and that's not okay. The next one is SodaStream, and SodaStream has a long history of displacing Palestinians in the Negev desert and of discriminating against its Palestinian workers as well. The next one, oh, that's it. So there are so many brands that support apartheid, but these are the ones that BDS is targeting right now. So please help us peacefully resisting this madness. Thank you.
Thank you, Ahmed. I appreciate that reminder because I don't know about you all, but I'm personally allergic to genocide and I'd like to avoid it at any time possible. Since the sun is shining beautifully and we're being visited by Tamanui Tera, please stay sun safe. We've got sunscreen over there on the steps and there are bottles of water over there, I believe, as well. So please look after yourselves and protect yourselves so you can keep coming to these marches. Up next, our next speaker is Nate Rue, a West Papuan activist and scholar. West Papua had their Flag Day yesterday on the 1st of December, and this is an important opportunity to remember that once again, the Palestinian struggle for self-determination shares a commitment to indigenous struggles for self-determination everywhere around the globe. Put your hands together for Nate.
Kia ora koutou. I just want to begin by first acknowledging the tangata whenua of Aotearoa, and particularly the mana whenua Ngāti Whātua. I also wanted to thank the organisers for your tireless work and the honour and the privilege of being able to share space and time with you all today. My name is Nate Rue, as was mentioned. I'm a Papua New Guinean and Pākehā academic and activist and part of the West Papua Action Tāmaki Makaurau organisation. I've been invited to speak in part as yesterday, December 1st, 2023, marked the 62nd anniversary of the West Papuan assertion of independence and the rising of the West Papuan flag. The West Papuans, our Melanesian siblings in the Pacific, are also facing a genocide at the hands of Indonesia. Shame. Where over 500,000, more than 500,000 West Papuans have been killed by occupying Indonesian forces since the 1960s. As such, I wanted to reflect a bit on the importance of international and global solidarity in the struggle against genocide and colonial violence, as our struggles are fundamentally linked in their opposition to global systems of violence. I think what's being made abundantly clear then by the genocidal actions of Israel, the deafening silence and the weak inaction of our governments in response to this violence, is that contrary to the narratives we've been told by those in power, we do not live in a free, peaceful and democratic world. We live in a world where those in power, especially in the West, are more committed to the profits of colonial and capitalist exploitation than any universal notion or idea of democracy, justice, peace or freedom. Shame. We live in a world where the current international order is structured on violence and its threat, rather than humanistic ideals of unity and civility. What has been made apparent then is that those in power, our so-called leaders, are more interested in protecting the interests of Israel, the US, and the capitalist war machine than they are in striving for a better world, a better way of being and relating to each other, but it does not have to be that way. That is, it should be clear to us who are here today that their power, their control, is fragile and weak. Because we are winning. Despite the literal billions being spent on weapons, propaganda, lobbying and bribery to secure US and Israeli interests, we are winning. Despite the monopoly on violence, we are winning. Despite the inaction of our leaders and the bias of our media, we are winning. Our global solidarity, our unwillingness to accept their lies and excuses, our constant and relentless resistance to genocide and violence continues to highlight the cracks in their order, the tears in the fabric of their power. Because if it were truly hopeless, their propaganda would be unnecessary, their justifications would be unnecessary. So we who are here today represent the growing tide of resistance to this order. We join our voices together as part of a global chorus who say no to genocide, no to apartheid, no to injustice in all its forms. We say no to a false peace established on the threat of violence and destruction, and instead strive towards liberation and a true peace, a real peace attained in the aftermath of justice and the overcoming of these violent systems. The question then is not how do we make Israel give or recognize the Palestinian people's human rights. You cannot give anyone human rights. Rather, we are called to ask what must we change in the world? What must we change in ourselves so that it stops denying the Palestinian and all other oppressed people their universal rights as human beings so that we can honestly and truly say never again. In this, the solidarity we show each other week after week, the relationships we continue to build and strengthen, the love, the care, the support we give each other as a diverse collective of peoples who believe in something better than what they have to offer, not only terrifies those in power, but paves the way forward for all of us and all of our liberation. As we gather here today to listen, to mourn, to remember, and to march, it is important to recognize that we are also collectively imagining and enacting a new world, that we are relating to each other in ways which challenge the foundations of our current world. So as we march today, let us continue to imagine a world beyond this one, a future where our solidarity and collective will opens up new possibilities, new ways of relating to each other. A world of liberation and justice, where Palestine is free, where West Papua is free, where all of us are free. Free, free! Free, free! Free, free!
Thank you so much, Nate. Our next speaker is Raghad Eid, a 13-year-old Egyptian who's been living in Aotearoa for 3 years. She enjoys writing poems, and here she is today to share one of her poems about Palestine. So please put your hands together for Raghad.
Kia ora tātou, noa I te taho, ko I tuku whānau, ko Raghad tuku ingoa. Assalamu alaikum everyone, my name is Raghad, and I've always been taught and encouraged to speak up for all the oppressed around the globe. And today I'm presenting a poem to stand in solidarity for Palestine. In this tragic tale of numbers that haunts me relentlessly, I am forced to comfort myself of the harsh reality of our world. A world where lives are reduced to statics? Really? Where their lives are worth nothing but cold impersonal digits? My heart bleeds for the countless souls lost, for their aspirations and dreams cut short by forces beyond their control. Give me a minute to tell you how my anger spreads through my heart like a wildfire fueled by Israeli propaganda, along with those rats that believe all these lies after lies after lies, never ending, aren't they? And just because you play believe that Hamas is under hospitals, schools, mosques, churches or homes, it doesn't give you the right to reduce all these shelters to rubble bit by bit. It doesn't give you the right to unalive thousands, yet counting children that just took the first steps, that just said mama for the first time. I wake up every day to more atrocities, more children bloodied, slaughtered, suffocated, and stripped out of their basic rights. I feel so much outrage at this world that can't look at those children with the same humanity standards as they would to any other child. And I find myself questioning, what's their fault for being an Arab brown Palestinian? Yet amidst the pain and despair, a number of hope flickers within me. It is a flame fueled by It is a flame fueled by a profound sense of injustice and the burning desire to expose the truth and hold those responsible accountable. I raise my voice trembling but steady, to stand in solidarity not only with those who have suffered around the globe, but also with those people of Gaza, to demand an end to this senseless violence and bombing the living hell out of their lives. But oh, the defending silence from those in power, their hearts hardened to our plight, and oblivious to the atrocities committed, they turn a blind eye, choosing to ignore the tears that stain our cheeks and the cries that pierce the night. Their thirst for power and dominance blinds them to the very essence of our shared humanity. And innocent lives continue to be lost, not found under rubble, just because of their ignorance. As the darkness envelops the world, I stand defiantly with a single purpose burning within my heart. Cease fire now, we cry, a plea for peace, for an end to this destruction and despair, for an end to this repeated history that should have not been left repeated. They're no longer just numbers, but their lives with dreams unrealized, with stories left untold. For in our unity, we find the strength to rebuild and heal, to rise above the ashes that surround us, to forge a path towards a brighter, more compassionate tomorrow for our Gaza. And when I say that, I don't mean a 7-day off for the IDF. And shame to the people that till this day they still say, sorry, I'm not educated. Sorry, it's too complicated. This is the 57th day of a genocide, let it be. You should be embarrassed. And shame to the people that have known about this genocide since day one and didn't bother to post at least one story about it, who didn't bother to come down and march like a human being for the Palestinians. And shame to the people that think that all those innocent lives that are lost worth less than the iced brown sugar shaken espresso from Starbucks. I want to remind you that we are the voices left for all the Palestinians, so we can't be weak. For the sake of the Palestinians, don't cry or grieve, for as they find peace within their death, they find victory within their martyrdom. They feel Allah's mercy through all those hardships, and they find strength and hope within their faith. They say, praises and thanks be to Allah. Alhamdulillah.
Thank you, Rahad, for that incredible poem. You speak the words that so many of us feel and think and yet cannot get out. They get stuck in our throats. They come out as tears. And so often we rely on our artists, on our writers to put words to our feelings. We appreciate you. Thank you. Before I introduce our next speaker, I'd just like to remind everyone that the petition we're taking to the council is just on the steps down there. If you could take a moment to sign it, we're also going to be signing it once we're at the council, but it might speed things up if you can sign it now. To our next speaker. Our next speaker is a founding member of Greenpeace International, who bought and named the Rainbow Warrior. She has been a senior climate change campaigner for Oxfam, as well as working with asylum seekers and former refugees Please put your hands together for Susie Newborn.
Assalamu alaikum. Kia ora. Hola, compañeros y compañeras. My name, as you heard, is Susie Newborn, and I have today a flax root action to tell you about, which I think will be a really effective way to build the movement from the bottom up rather than top down through a government who really does not seem to have the interest of the Palestinian people at heart. My maternal bloodline is French, Jewish and Middle Eastern. She and my father were born in Argentina and won scholarships to study in the UK. That was where a couple of decades later he was killed in mysterious circumstances for refusing to obey the orders of the fascist government of the day. As mentioned, I'm a founder of Greenpeace UK, co-founder of Greenpeace International, and bought and named the Rainbow Warrior, which was blown up here by French terrorists, killing a crew member. I currently live on Te Motu Arairoa, or Wahiki Island, and I'm a co-founder of Stand with Palestine Wahiki, along with my colleague Liz Tivoli, who's somewhere here, and she has been involved, there she is, with PSNA for decades. But enough about me. So are you ready to make a pledge? Come closer. I'm going to tell you how. Hands up who know who their local board is. Come on, you all live in an area with a local board. If you don't know, don't worry. They're all listed on the Auckland Council website. So just go and find out who they are. There are about 21 local boards in Tāmaki, and they usually have monthly meetings. And you can find out when these meetings are by going to the Auckland Council website. Look for details for their ordinary meetings, because they have other kinds. At the beginning of the meeting, there is something called a public forum, where you, as a member of the community, can address the board for up to 3 minutes of issues that are of concern to you. If you wish the local board to pass a motion or a resolution, you can speak informally in a public forum or formally through a deputation, which gives you more time. If you would like to speak at a monthly business meeting, contact your local board office in advance and let them know. It is a good idea to get a group of people to come with you, select a spokesperson or a couple of spokespeople who will be called up to address the board. You can read from a prepared document, which you will have circulated beforehand by email, but the important thing is to keep it short, simple and succinct. But always include background information, supporting documents or links if necessary, even visual aids. But remember, you only have 3 minutes, just like I have here now. On Wahiki, Standing with Palestine Wahiki addressed the local board at their last board meeting, which happened to coincide with the International Day of Solidarity with Palestine. Perfect timing. We asked 2 things. Firstly, that they pass a motion for an immediate and permanent ceasefire in Palestine, and secondly, that they pass a resolution to fly the Palestinian flag from the local board's flagpole as of Palestine Day until a ceasefire is declared. Because time, yeah, you all are going to do this, okay? Because time was of the essence to get the flag up on that date, as dictated by the second part of the motion, and to publicize both as quickly as possible. The local board then used something called standing orders to allow them to move into something called an extraordinary business meeting where they can discuss urgent matters. Otherwise, they put it on the back burner and decide later. As for the second ask, there was a bit more of a discussion. So the board discussed the two asks separately, and before voting, board members may or may not ask you some questions for clarification. In this case, there weren't any questions, and all of them voted in favour of the motion. And the motions are really short and simple. As for the second ask, as I said, they talked a bit more. This is the flag going up in the flagpole. To be honest, Liz and I didn't think it would fly, no pun intended, even though we gave them examples of other local boards overseas who voted to mount the flag until a ceasefire is declared. In the end, 3 of the local board voted in favour of flying the flag, and 1 member voted against it, and our deputy chairman was unable to vote because she's currently in Dubai at the COP28. So the second motion is behind this one. Done and dusted, do you think? Well, no. The local board had not realised that the flagpole upon which we were to mount the flag actually belongs to Auckland Council. And we know they have more policies in Auckland Council than you can shake a flagpole at. And believe it or not, there is actually a flagpole policy. Under the jurisdiction of the council corporate property, and they say it needs to go to the council legal team for advice. Boring. And we've been told we are not likely to get an answer until Monday, and it may well be that the legal team decide that the flagpole and what to fly from it is not within the local board's decision making. We are getting lawyers looking at this. Anyway, they better hurry up before some monkey business goes down, if you get my drift. You know what they say in council about us on Waihi? That we're a bunch of lunatics and activists. I am sure we have more activists per square inch than anywhere else in the world. And once you, taking the pledge, have got your local board to take action, you then issue a press release and tell the world. Waihi is the first local board in Aotearoa to pass such a motion. Yeah! But hold the phone as to whether or not we'll be able to get the flag up legally. So this is how we got the anti-nuclear legislation passed in Parliament. It works. Back in the day, Waihi women went on a walk to Ponike, pushchairs, babies, bikes and all, and along the way they seeded anti-nuclear cells in towns and villages throughout the Motu, until by the time they reached the steps of the beehive, they had the whole country behind the movement. And that's what you're going to do. What happened next is part of our proud history. But I don't expect you to go on a long walkabout. But you can organise a group to go to your local board, get them to pass a motion, maybe even fly the flag. And the more people do this, the more it will snowball until we get the majority of councils in Aotearoa falling in line, securing their own contribution to human rights and to stand on the right side of history. So let's get them doing this far now, from the bottom of Te Waiponam to the tip of Cape Reinga, from the Waikato to Te Moananui Kiwa, from the river to the sea. So hands up again if you are ready to make this pledge to grow the movement at a local board level. Put your hands up, guys! A flat root revolution. I gather the steps I've outlined will be published on Instagram, but get in quick! Local boards break over Christmas and some don't open until as late as February. Hands up for free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! I am so proud of the fact that the majority of countries from America Latina, or Habla Yala, as the First Nation peoples called their land, have chosen to distance themselves from the US and Israel over the Gaza genocide. And after all, we remember only too well Kissinger's profound moral wretchedness in that region, as well as being a key figure in the modern history of the Middle East. His legacy reflected in the current war in Gaza. Good riddance! Throw away the mold! So I would like to close with a quote from a fellow Argentinian I hope you've heard of, Che Guevara. Maybe it can turn into one of our chants. It's really simple. We'll give it a go. Hasta la victoria siempre. Ever onwards to victory. Again. Hasta la victoria siempre. Ever onward to victory. Free, free. Genocide. Free, free. Genocide. Free, free. Genocide.
Okay, I'm going to go through some of the chants with you before we go, so I need your energy up. All right, the first one we're going to do is Luxon, Luxon, take a stand.
Luxon, Luxon, take a stand.
Ceasefire is our demand.
Ceasefire is our demand.
Luxon, Luxon, take a stand.
Luxon, Luxon, take a stand.
Ceasefire is our demand.
Ceasefire is our demand.
I need you to clap for ceasefire as our demand. So let's try that again. Ceasefire is our demand.
Ceasefire is our demand.
Ceasefire is our demand.
Ceasefire is our demand.
Okay, the other one we're going to try is Auckland Council, take a stand.
Auckland Council, take a stand.
Ceasefire is our demand.
Ceasefire is our demand.
Ceasefire is our demand.
Ceasefire is our demand.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we're almost done now. So we're going to be marching soon. Okay. Okay. So we're going to be singing Tuti Ramai together, and then we're going to be following the marshals to march to Auckland Council's office. We'll be asking everyone here to sign the petition. Oh, so I think most people have. Oh, okay. It will be available once we reach Auckland Council. And yeah. Which is just to pass a motion to call for an immediate ceasefire and to fly the Palestinian flag from Auckland Council's flagpoles in solidarity with the Palestinian people for 1 month. And we will sign and leave the petition at the Auckland Council's office. And please remember that this is a peaceful and non-violent protest. You can shout, wave the flags and signs. Just please don't engage with any agitators who try to provoke us. But first, let's sing together. So, Tia Tarangi will be coming up now.
Mauriore kia tātou, noku te waimarie me te honore te arahi a tātou I roto I tēnei waiata tūtira mai ngā iwi. Kia ora everyone, I have the honour of guiding us through singing Tūtira mai ngā iwi. This song was composed by Ririmu Te Tauhuata as he was driving past Lake Tūtira with his children. And this song talks about everyone uniting together and standing as one to seek understanding in aroha. And quite often people will say aroha is love, but if your understanding of love isn't tika, then aroha is aroha. So if you know the waiata, sing along, and that's us. Kia ora. Aue aue kia tapatahi kia kotahira tātou tātou e tūtira mai ngā iwi tātou tātou e tūtira mai ngā iwi tātou tātou e whai a te marama
tahira, tātou tātou e anō, tūtira mai ngā iwi auwe, tātou tātou e. Tūtira mai ngā iwi auwe, tātou tātou e. Whai a te maramatanga, me te aroha e ngā iwi ki a tapatahi ki a potahira, tātou tātou e, tātou tātou e. From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
from the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
free, free,
Palestine.
free, free.
Palestine.
Long live Valentina, love you Palestina. Long live Palestina, love you Palestina. Long live Palestina, we love you Palestina. Long live Palestina, love you Palestina. Long live Palestina, love you Palestina. From the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
from the river to the sea,
Palestine will be free.
Mauri ora ka tātou.
All right, everyone, we're going to start marching to Auckland Council. Just a public service announcement. A Leanne dropped this, so if you want to, I'll just hang around here for a little while and come grab it off me. But in the meantime, follow the marshals to Auckland Council and chant loudly, everyone. Kia ora. Oh yeah, feel free to grab some banners along the way and also to sign that if it's still there. Kia ora.
Can we have some people carrying the flag too? Let's take the flag too.
Palestine!
Yes, never had anything. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, I would imagine most people here. Yes, never. Oh, yes, you are right. Yes.